Well, critics fear that the Obama administration has weakened the terms of the agreement, pushing for a deal at any price. Former New Hampshire Governor John Sununu served as White House Chief of Staff to President George H.W. Bush, and he joins me now. Governor, good morning. Good to have you with us.
Morning, Martha. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So the latest thing that just crossed the wires moments ago from the White House is that they say that this deal effort may go down to the wire tomorrow. What do you make of that?
Well, you know, every deal with Iran will go down to the wire, and some people say it'll probably go well past the deadline. But the issue that is now being discussed is not a trivial issue. The issue of where the enriched uranium will reside for a period of time is rather significant, and it is not a minor point. It is not. The deal without that being resolved properly is a horrible deal, and the White House has to understand that they're going to be pressed hard by the Iranians, and I would hope there's some backbone in the negotiation. Yeah,
I mean, it harkens back to the North Korea deal. I mean, the essential factor is that if the uranium is in country and they bar us or they bar the IAEA from coming in for any reason, they've got a lot of cover on their activities.
Well, it's not just cover. The whole deal hangs on making sure Iran's capacity to build a nuclear weapon is brought down to virtually zero for the period, at least the period of 10 years, and hopefully extended beyond that. Without that provision, it is foolish to say that anything significant was achieved. The White House is unfortunately giving a bad signal, I think, by putting pressure on Democrats to try and set them up to accept whatever deal the White House brings to the table, Democrats in Congress. And I think that's a bad sign. It might mean that they are not going to get the deal that they had hoped to get and are hoping to get support for a lesser deal. And that makes everyone nervous, including everyone in the Middle East, especially the Saudis.
Yeah. Would you expect that this deal, that they start pushing the deadline, that Tuesday becomes Wednesday, or that there's, you know, a lot more room to wiggle in here, especially given the fact that the technical issues aren't supposed to be resolved until June?
Well, what makes everyone nervous is that the White House has directly and indirectly signaled that the president thinks this is his equivalent of Nixon going to China. First of all, it isn't, even if he gets the deal. But secondly, with that mindset, everyone is nervous as to what he's going to give up to get some kind of an achievement that he can crow about. It makes our friends in the Middle East extremely nervous, especially in this environment of al-Qaeda and ISIS being almost everywhere with mischief now.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Just one more note to ask you about. It was just announced moments ago that the president will travel to Kenya in July. This is going to be his fourth trip to Africa in the course of his presidency. What do you think?
Well, look, he's going to take advantage in the last 2 years and go to all the places he wants to go to. I think his trip back to Kenya is going to create a lot of chatter and commentary amongst some of the hard right who still don't see him as having been born in the U.S. I personally think he's just inciting some chatter on an issue that should have been a dead issue a long time ago.
Well, maybe the most important thing is what your priorities are in terms of where the hot spots are in the world and what really needs to be addressed and whether or not Kenya is on that list.
Well, I think the hot spot today is these negotiations in Iran and the battling in Yemen and Syria, and I hope the president is paying attention there and doing more focus on that than making travel plans.
Governor, great to see you as always. Thanks so much.
Thank you.